Going live.
You're on mute.
Chris is asking how he watches it.
Reddick.
YouTube.
Bring the energy tonight, fellas. Griffin, that goes for you too. Do you want to do a real quick sound check? G-Brew, let me hear you real quick.
Check.
That's good.
Oh yeah, one
So
thing
we
we
need
got
to
to
go
work
up at all?
on. I feel like me and Brian, Blake does this too. I feel like we all do this a little bit. Is just like fading out. Like when you're making a point and like ending the point, don't like get lower volume and start just like fading out your voice. It's one thing I've noticed all of us doing.
That's a good
Okay.
point.
I can get closer to my mic.
And Cameron, one thing I noticed after like the last couple episodes is you keep ending up as the caboose and like making points. So going forward, we're starting with you, damn it.
Yeah,
because
getting the start.
Okay.
Tell my ass to shut up when I need to.
All right, are you guys ready?
Sometimes I like to just hear first and then I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
All
if you want, we can keep doing it how we do it. But I just was laughing about
All
that
right.
last episode.
No, that's fine.
We'll just be fluid with it.
Yeah,
Are y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, I'll do the little. Okay, so about to start the countdown. All right, 3, 2. Wait. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm almost always thinking about you. And when I'm not, I'm asleep, dreaming of you. You mean the world to me. And I just thought I would let you know before you're half past gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Bonafide Talk. We've got a very special episode tonight for you guys. Really looking forward to it. As always, I'm joined by Brian Edwards. We got Blake Manzer. We got Cameron Campbell. Say hey, fellas.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Oh,
Ladies and
Oh,
so, like I
bro.
said, tonight is very special. For those of you watching our live stream, we have a co-host tonight, Griffin Brewster. Say hey, Griffin.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for
Welcome to
having
the
me.
So-
podcast.
Welcome. We're really glad to have you. So for those of you who don't know Griffin, if you know him, you love him. Griffin is my roommate, my pledge brother. We have shared many experiences together at Ole Miss.
Very true.
We've had many late nights talking about music. We've shared many shitty beers, and he's put me on a lot of IPAs. I mean, we've got lots of memories together. So he's got a lot of interesting perspective. We're going to talk tonight a lot about music. As Griffin will tell you, he has a he has a sweet spot for music. He's going to clue you in a little. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll leave it there. But Griffin, why don't you tell the crowd a little bit about yourself and what you've got going on your end?
So what's up, guys? I'm Griffin. I'm a 23-year-old boy from Mobile, Alabama, coming to school at Ole Miss, meeting great friends like Garrett, and getting to meet a couple other of the guys on this podcast, like Brian and Blake. And nice to get to talk to you, Cameron.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been a really, really good go with the last 4 years of college, and made a lot of friends. And now I've been just screwing around, making some music, which has been really fun. Started playing guitar when I was in high school, and now I've gotten into producing a lot of stuff. So it's been a lot of fun to get away. Garrett and I both were accounting majors, so we did not have a very good time for the majority of college, but we're at a good point right now. And any free time I have, I'm trying to make some music and just relax and be creative instead of just counting numbers all the time. So it's nice to be able to come on and talk to you guys about music or whatever else, and just kind of let loose for a little bit, because I was in the library for 8 hours today. So
Jeez.
it's really nice to just get out of there and do that. But yeah, thanks for having me on, you guys.
yeah, you're
no
still in undergrad, right? Because you're technically a year younger than us.
So technically, yes, but I am in grad school. So
Oh,
I'm
you're in
fifth
grad
year
school.
right
Okay,
now.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you doing
I'm
Mac?
fifth year right now. I'm doing Mac. Had the opportunity to do data analytics, and that sounded too hard, so I just went straight for the regular Mac stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a solid route.
KPMG, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Did an
yeah.
internship with KPMG in Houston over the winter, and luckily, by the grace of God, got a job offer. So looking
Got that
forward
right.
to moving to Houston after grad school, and that'll be exciting. But you know, I don't want to be an accountant. Nobody wants to be an accountant. So we're just
Absolutely.
taking it day by day and trying to make it through so that I can have a good looking resume and hopefully things pay off.
Yeah. So, as Griffin mentioned, he kind of glossed over it a little bit, but he's been playing music for a long time, playing guitar. And Griffin is definitely the guy who, late night we'd get home from the bars, we'd have friends over, have some ladies over, whatever. And Griffin would be like, yeah, no, I play guitar, like purposefully dropping it, and then he'd go into the room and he'd bring out the guitar and he'd start shredding some tunes a little bit, just absolutely on purpose. He was that guy. But
You're
rightfully so. I mean,
absolutely
kid shreds.
lying out of your ass right now. That was never me.
You wish,
I was
dude.
not the guitar dude. That's
he-
not me.
So another story. I'm a huge Eagles fan. One of my favorite bands, especially American bands. Oh shit, dude, I'm blanking on the name of the song right now. What'd you perform at one of these nights?
One of these nights,
Okay.
yeah.
So Griffin was practicing for a philanthropy event. You're entering, bands can like enter into the event, and then like whoever gets the loudest cheers at the end of the night wins the competition. So anyway, he was practicing like all week or weeks, however long it was. I swear to God, I was listening to him practice so much that I cannot listen to one of these nights like anymore. Like
I can't either. I'm there.
The guitar riff, like he would be in the room like doing that riff, and every time I hear that, I'm like, like that song will never be the same to me. But that's part of music. It is repetition, it's grind, and I've definitely learned that from being around you. So again, tonight's gonna be very music heavy. Griffin, why don't you tell our audience and the co-host a little bit about why music's so timely right now? You've got something coming down the pipe a little bit, don't you?
Wait, before we
do.
get into that, aren't we skipping the main part of the intro? I'm getting a little thirsty over here.
I was hoping you'd get there.
Yeah.
I'm a
my bad,
little
fellas.
thirsty, dude.
I just
My
started
bad,
to crack
fellas.
mine open.
I've been
Okay.
waiting.
Stay
Yes, please.
thirsty, my co-host Cameron. Please, what
parched.
you drinking on over there?
I went and picked up myself. You guys know I love IPAs. I went and picked up the Terrapin Survival Kit, and they got the new Terrapin Cryosphere.
Huh.
So I'm gonna try this
okay.
one,
Damn, that looks good.
and it's we'll see.
Is it pithy?
Hey,
Huh?
Is it pithy?
Nah, it doesn't say anything about pithy. Let's see.
what kind of terrapin is it? Like, is it
Ooh, pretty good. It's an IPA,
okay? Just
but
like
it's
that's all you got for me.
it's definitely not pithy.
It's an IPA.
It's like a new one.
This is a white.
It's they use a state-of-the-art hop product called cryo hops.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Actually, no, that is interesting. Okay. Wait.
Cryo
Never mind.
hops.
Is
Yeah.
that like cryogenics or something? I really don't understand what that means.
Said both
Frozen
the
hop.
brewing and dry hopping of this beer, highlighting the unique cryogenic process.
Interesting.
Cool.
It's pretty good,
Science.
but it's definitely just an IPA.
Right on. Blake, what you got?
All right. So even though the news over the past week hasn't been that great, I'm still repping the old Trump koozie.
Hey,
but
it's still up in the air.
Inside said
It is.
Trump koozie. All right. So I was at the local Bilo today, and I was just trying to find the most obscure beer I could possibly find, and so I found the Loose Cannon IPA. Literally don't know a
Wow.
single thing about it, but it's an IPA, 7.25% alcohol.
Damn.
It's got a cool little picture of some
Pretty good.
exploded hops on there. Yeah, so that's what I'm drinking on tonight.
All right, Beast.
Interesting.
Brian.
The old
What
faithful.
Athens beer?
You ask every week as if it's going to be a different response. You know?
Ooh, this is good.
It's always slightly different.
Dude, we
but
should make a
pretty much
push to
the
get
same.
some, sponsorship. I think Classic City.
Okay, real
Preacher's
quick.
big, but I don't know how big their Instagram is. Maybe we could get some cases our way.
That'd be awesome.
Fellas, I learned something about Athens beer this weekend that blew my mind. Okay. I think y'all probably know about this. So, Avengers Endgame. Okay. One of the greatest movie scenes of all time is when they walk in on Thor, and Thor is playing Fortnite. He's hanging out with Rocky or whatever that dude's name is, and he's fat as hell, and he's just crushing beers, and he's got like empty kegs like filling up the room.
Tropical.
And I did not realize this, but he was drinking Creature Comforts, which is what Brian has been
Oh.
humping since
Yeah, he was.
the first
he was
episode of
drinking.
this podcast.
3 different
Yeah.
scenes in the movie.
Garrett, you're
that
thinking
yeah,
of
three
Korg,
scenes?
by the way.
Yeah.
Korg is the rock guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, big.
Yeah.
I know my Marvel,
anyway,
whatever.
What are you drinking?
All right, so I was hoping we'd get here. So this is a favorite of mine. This is the Susie B Blonde Ale, Southern Prohibition Brewing in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I was waiting to crack into this until I started talking, so very excited about that. But yeah, it's a solid beer. Honestly, it's one of me and my dad's favorites, and we've been drinking it for. I'm 23, so we've only been drinking it for 2 years now.
Nice.
There we go.
Oh, bull.
I mean, it's a favorite for sure. It's really smooth. It's really easy to drink. It's delicious.
Awesome.
Nice.
Love it. Hey, so did you guys hear about Sweetwater by any chance this week? Sweetwater
did.
was in the news. Blake, you want to share a little bit what you heard?
So I just read a headline, but I know they were bought by I believe it was a Canadian cannabis company.
Yeah.
That's the
Wow.
extent to what I know, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I will add just a little bit more details because I don't know much more. So basically, Sweetwater Brewing Company, which is based right here in Atlanta, it's been a staple for a couple decades, and it's a national brand now. Was sold to Afria, who is a Canadian cannabis company, like you said, $300 million.
Wow.
But it's kind of interesting though. Like I don't think there's ever been a deal before for like alcohol and like pot combining. So like this is really interesting going forward. But what that tells me though, just like based on intuition, is like it's probably pretty likely they're making a bet that pot is going to be legalized in the U.S. in the coming years. So just something to watch. Close to heart, close to the segment, just with it being Atlanta based and IPAs, whatever.
Well, I think just a little bit more on that. I think also whatever company owns what is the beer? Corona beer. I'm pretty sure the company that owns that merged with some cannabis company maybe like 2 years ago.
Ooh.
I want
That's
to
why
say
Corona tastes like weed sometimes.
maybe.
Definitely smells.
Does it?
Corona definitely
Yeah.
smells like pot.
It
100%.
stinks. That's a stinky beer for sure.
Stanky.
Yeah, it's
But
Canopy is the name of the company that merged with them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, just a
Interesting.
little addition to that.
But yeah, something just to watch out for. It makes sense, Sweetwater, just because they have that like 420 obviously, and then like they have that whole like variety pack of beers that are like Kush themed, like mango Kush pale ale or whatever. Anyway, so just something to keep an eye out for. Just pretty interesting. So anyway, we'll get back into kind of what we were talking about before, talking about music. And Griffin, you've got something coming down the pipe a little bit. So why don't you share with the audience what you've got going on?
Yeah, so excited to announce. Well, I announced it on Instagram earlier this week, but I have a song coming out on Friday to all streaming platforms. It's called Half Past Gone, and it's featuring my buddy Centrell, Khalil Martin, who is an incredible singer. He's phenomenal, and he's got this like great voice for the R&B genre, and it's something that I've never really worked on before. So it was really like it was a learning experience for me to come in and make something like this. I'm used to rock, alternative, like indie stuff. So R&B was not something that I'd ever really touched before. And we'd been chit-chatting for, I want to say like a couple months, just like him saying, let's get together, and me saying, oh yeah, okay. And we finally got together, and he started singing for me, and I was like, oh my God, you've got an incredible voice. So I was like, let's just go ahead and lay something down. And I started playing this small 3-chord riff. Uh, excuse me. And he started writing down lyrics right away. It took him about 20 minutes to write down the first verse and the chorus of the song. It was
Wow.
incredible. I'd never seen anybody write like that before. And I was just playing the same thing over and over again. Ended up putting it on loop on whatever music software I was using. And he started singing, and I was like, holy shit, you've got it going. Like, this sounds incredible. So it was really exciting to get to work on that with him. And it only took us 2 nights of recording to get it all completely finished.
Dang.
So
Nice.
I mean, it was 2 like 4-ish hour nights, but he had it was all working. It was basically me on the other nights working on the music behind it, because he finished writing right away. I mean, he was so quick with it. The next day he texted me and was like, yeah, I went ahead and just finished the rest of the song. So
Wow.
he sent that to me. And what we played at the intro was actually just the bridge of the song towards the end of it. And that's it's the only part of the song where you hear any vocals of mine, where I did this cheesy British accent. And I thought, oh, that works really well into where this song is going right now. So you didn't get to hear any of his stuff, and I did that on purpose because I want to wait until Friday for everyone to be able to hear it at the same time, because it's just incredible. He's got an amazing voice. And yeah, we've got a lot more stuff coming up. Actually, this man's got like 10 to 15 songs already written, and I just have to put music to them.
Wow.
So
You said this song specifically is coming Friday, right?
yes, this song is the first single, and we want to have an EP out maybe before the end of the year. That's asking a lot.
Cool.
Within the next few months, for sure.
Okay. And forgive my ignorance. So can you kind of break down what the difference is between, just having one song, one hit that you just push out versus an EP versus an album? Like, just kind
Yeah.
of break it down for the
Yeah,
normal Spotify listener.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, a single is the song that you want everyone to listen to that will come from your album or your EP. It's basically kind of what you think is the most listenable song, the most
Mhm.
like ear catchy kind of song.
Like radio song.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And that's how most musicians do it now. And something that's happened recently in the last like 10 or 15 years is artists are putting out so many singles that's filling up like the majority of the album. And no one's listening to their whole albums through anymore, because all their good songs are the singles. And it's like nobody has that time to listen through to the entire thing anymore. Now with an EP, that's like I think it's like 4 to 6 songs.
4 to 6, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's like half or more than half of a regular album, and it's just 4 songs you want to get out there. Like, and I know in my case, and a lot of new musicians who are just releasing songs, putting out a single isn't necessarily the song of the EP or whatever, because we haven't made anything else yet. We have, this is the first song that me and Khalil have made together. So we don't know if this is the best one we're ever going to make. We don't know if it's the worst one we're going to make. So that's why I'm excited to get together with him and do some more stuff. We have a lot of work to do in the upcoming months. And I've got a lot of school and studying for the CPA and stuff. So I'm going to have a lot less time.
Yep.
Work on music, but any free time I have, I usually go in and just try to make like a beat or 2, sometimes even 3 if I get home from the library a little early and have some free time on my hands. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy process.
Yeah, definitely. Digging a little deeper into that process, I know I'm prying a lot. So
Please do.
when you say you want to like make an EP or an album, from your point of view, like what does that creative process look like? Like, do you have a sound or a specific theme in
Yeah.
general that you plan out from the album and then make songs according to that, or is it just like randomized, or what does that look like?
See, that's something that we're kind of figuring out along the way. We've gotten this first song done, and we're trying to decide if we want to stick to this same sound or if we want to kind of diversify what we sound like. And it's going to take a lot more time working, I guess, in the studio, which is just my bedroom, uh, and doing just like countless hours of working through sounds. Like I know we've already talked. We like how the song leads out and how it could lead into an interlude to another song or could lead into a completely different sound. So in something like an EP or an album, you'll see a lot of times that they have interludes within the album that are like 15, 30, 45 seconds that are just placements in between two songs or connectors really. And so we're trying to figure out how we want to move forward, and a lot of that is just going to have to be constant communication between me and Khalil. And as a producer, because I don't have a voice, I'm not singing, so I'm excited to have somebody on my tracks that can sing. uh I'm always
Well,
open
apparently you got
to
a good British accent at least.
yeah, you're not hearing me singing British though, that's for sure. We
Oh
have
shit.
I mean, like as a producer, I love working with other people too, but like since like as soon as Khalil walked in the room, we had such a close connection. He's a friend of mine that I've known since the summer before freshman year of college that I hung out with all the time. And
Mm.
like as college started, we just kind of lost touch a little bit. We saw each other here and there. He actually works at the Walgreens. He's a pharmacy major, and he is doing pharmacy work at the Walgreens here in Oxford. So when I go and pick up medicine or whatever, I see
Mm.
him, and it's like a pleasant surprise to see him. So we finally got together, and I just like was blown away by what he could do. So like I said, I'm really looking forward to everybody hearing his voice and all the work that he put into this song. And I think that y'all are gonna like it.
So when you guys are recording a song,
Yeah, for sure.
do you have any of the like underlying sounds playing in the background, like beneath you playing the guitar and him singing, or is it just like you playing the guitar and him singing? Like how does it all come together to be like a finished product?
So that's where a lot of the inner workings come in. That's a lot of the me on my own away from everything else. Like usually me between like 8 p.m. and midnight or 1 or 2, depending on how awake I am. Uh, he'll like I said, he only came over for 2 days. It took 2 days to have that song finished and recorded. And on the second day, we re-recorded everything, all of his vocals. Garrett
Okay.
heard an early version of it, and it's completely different now than it was then. So, and since getting this new microphone, it's been huge for like, vocal quality and whatnot. And it's just it's just been a very interesting process because when I'm alone, I have all these different sounds that I want to go into it playing in my head, and I like have to pick and choose what I want because otherwise it's just going to get all jumbled up. And
Mm.
so I really enjoy just fiddling around really with sounds and figuring out what I like. And with this song, with Half Past Gone, what I did was I started with that guitar riff, like I said, and he wrote to that. I threw that on a loop. So it was just playing over and over again for him to write to for the verse and the chorus and whatever. And then as soon as he left, I started thinking, all right, how can I layer these sounds together to sound better and to make his voice sound better and to make the entire song flow easier? So what I would do, I think the first instrument I added was a piano, just as like a backing sound for the chords to the guitar. And then I added a little synth toned down on top of that so that it could layer with the piano and almost make the piano not sound like a piano.
Hmm.
And so it really wasn't until like maybe 60% of the song being completed that I even thought about making any kind of drum beat or anything. And in the song, you can hear this ticking sound that I thought meshed well with the theme of the song, with the half past, like, timing. And it was a sound that I found online that I use, and it was actually pressing play on a cassette player that I slowed down and I put a lot of reverb and echo on to sound like a ticking clock.
Huh.
So that was something really cool that I was really interested in. And then I just added this 808 bass and like this kick drum that gave it like this thump, and it ended up carrying the vocals really well. So I stuck with that, and really that was pretty much just it. I mean, I added some layering guitar stuff on top of the original. I had what I wanted to be kind of an acoustic sound that I actually played on the piano. So you're going to hear the main overlay guitar in the song. It's actually just me playing it on the piano. It's not actually the guitar. The guitar is all kind of in the background.
Huh.
So I wanted it to be cleaner and mesh well with the tempo of the song, and I was having trouble getting that with the actual guitar. So that's why I switched over to the piano. And that was pretty much it. Yeah, that's how that whole thing got put together.
Cool.
All right, so what I'm interested in is like, okay, I know a lot about music, but I know nothing about music theory. I think that's kind of the difference between like how musicians are able to kind of like find their niche, and I serve more as a listener. So what I'm curious about is, okay, deciding where the soul of a song is. Okay, I think it's twofold in my mind. I would say it's either the riff or the title.
Really? You think
Can you
Um,
title has a
explain
lot
what
to do
riff
with the soul?
is? Excuse my
Yeah.
ignorance once again.
So yeah, explain that.
Well, Garrett, you probably have a pretty good understanding of this too, as a music aficionado that you are. Uh,
Dude, look
I
at
mean,
his
the
Grateful
riff
Dead
is
tapestry,
basically
man.
typically a riff is kind of like the leading sound of the song. So in like "Can't Stop" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, it's the dun 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 dun. Dun. Like that's how it's the melody that
Yep.
carries throughout the entire.
Thing that's stuck in your head.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense.
So like in my
Yeah.
opinion, I think that's kind of like what makes a hit. You know what I mean? Like the songs, it just sticks in your brain. It's catchy, and then it just carries out throughout the entire song, and it just I don't know. I think that's really the soul of a song. But I wanted to ask you about the song title because like, you talked about the process. And I think the process is really cool because, you said you started with a riff and then the lyrics came next and then everything else just kind of followed. So like, how did you pick the theme of like how the song was going to go? Like Half Past Gone, talk about like how you chose the song title and, how, I guess how that kind of came together, like the lyrics and just the theme of the song and all that kind of stuff.
So honestly, that might not be a very good question for me. That's more of a Khalil question because he was
Fair.
the main writer of the song and he had the emotions and the lyrics going at the time. But while I was sitting there watching him write it, and like I wasn't doing anything because I had already put the guitar on the loop for him to write over. And so he just sat there and scribbled and scratched and found what he wanted. And I don't know if it was something that he had preconceived, like this was an idea that he already had kind of in his head, or if this was something that just popped into his head right away. But the guitar riff that I was doing was what we call like in music seventh chords. So they're like major chords, which is kind of what you hear in a lot of pop songs, but almost diminished to where they have this smoother soul to them. I'm trying to think of a good example. I don't know if y'all know Alan Stone is a good example of this. He like in Why Georgia, or not Why Georgia, in Georgia on My Mind. He did that really well, and in a couple of his other songs, John Mayer does it all the time. It's a really soulful, like chord placement on the guitar that makes it sound almost like not full, but just I don't know. It's so much different than playing a full chord. It sounds really clean, especially with this R&B sound. And that's something that I play all the time. When I pick up a guitar, the first thing I do is play that way. And so, right when he got here, that's exactly what I did. Play the usual. I think that I played a what was it? It was an F major 7. It was a E minor 7, and then a B minor 7, or maybe a B flat 7. I don't remember, but it was a fun progression to do, and it was really easy for me. It was just like a finger pick for the guitar, which usually sounds a lot better on the acoustic, but I don't have my acoustic here with me, so I just played it on the electric, and he was able to ride to it really well, which was great.
Yeah.
So
Real quick, B. Let me just make this point. So you talk about the story about like you and Khalil kind of coming back together, and that's just like a perfect like analogy for music and how it just brings people together. It's kind of like sports in a way, where like people can just come together on shared music taste. They can come together on things they like, things they don't like, and then also the collaboration process. It's so important because having different ears, different eyes on a song, and being able to kind of use two different brains, put them together to create something like y'all created. Really cool process, and I think that's awesome. Sorry to cut you off, B. I just wanted to share that real quick.
no, you're good. I'm just question master tonight. Got so much stuff popping
Yeah,
up
dude,
my
I
head.
love the questions. This is stuff that I don't really get to talk about, so I'm excited to, because it makes me think. Because I'm not,
Right.
since I don't usually talk
Sure.
about this, it's me totally coming from the heart.
Yeah, definitely. So this is going to be kind of multifaceted, so I'll try to keep it as concise as possible. But just wondering what your thoughts are on starting up your own music. So as we know, like as any real industry is, like it can be pretty saturated. There's a lot of people trying to pump out their stuff, and really develop, their sound that they attribute to their music. So how for you, like, do you have a sound that you just kind of identify? You're like, yeah, that's me, or like maybe it's a genre or something. Like, how do you categorize like your music and staying true to the sound that you want, but at the same time trying to not be like everybody else? Does that even make sense?
Yeah, no, that does, and that's a great question. That's something that's changed with me probably yearly, if not every half of every year. Uh, I mean, my genres change so frequently. When I first started playing guitar, the Red Hot Chili Peppers were my favorite band. I wanted to make that kind of rock alternative sound just like them. I was terrible at guitar at the time, but that was all I wanted to play. And as I evolved in my taste in music, especially as a guitar player, because that's what I started with. I didn't know any other instruments before I played guitar. I started to find like incredible guitar players like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, and then John Mayer, who for me is one of my biggest influences as a guitar, which obviously he's not a lot of people's first choice as one of the best guitar players, but he's absolutely incredible at improvising. And if you've ever seen him live, or if you ever watched one of his live shows on YouTube or whatever, you'll see that he can just tear into whatever he's got. I mean, he plays for the Grateful Dead now. So that takes
Really?
that says a lot about the guy,
Didn't
for him
know
to
that.
be able to go and jump in on the Grateful Dead, for them to be able to offer that to him. I mean, you got to be one hell of a guitarist to take that place. And so his improvisation is probably one of my biggest influences, because when I sit around and play, all I'm doing is improvising. And then when I hear something I like, I'm thinking, okay, that's something that I can put into a song or record. I've probably got 100 different recordings on my computer of 5 seconds of just a guitar riff. I mean, like, and then I completely forget about them or move on because I found something better. And so it's something that evolves over time. And in the last few years, I've had a bit like Tame Impala has been a huge influence for me, which I never would have thought that psychedelic kind of sound would be my kind of thing. But it's been, I mean, the way Kevin Parker does it as a producer now, as someone that makes a lot of music, being able to see one guy go in and record every single instrument for the entire album, for every song on an album, is like, that's so influential to me because all I want to do is make music. I mean, like every free second I have that I'm not writing in a book, I'm wanting to make music. And Kevin Parker has just really shown that all it takes is just one guy learning the right things to be able to create perfect sound. So that's huge for me. And then Frank Ocean, who's another one of my favorites of all time. He's not necessarily a producer, but his sounds are always just meshed together so well that it's something that my brain usually can't even comprehend because I'll listen to his albums over and over again, especially when I'm studying or doing whatever. And like his album Blonde, which is his most recent album, like I if don't know what to listen to, I throw that album on full go, and I usually will listen to it all the way through because like it's so damn good. So I don't know. I've had a phase of music where I've wanted to do alternative. I've had a phase where I've wanted to make clean, soulful, John Mayer-esque music. I've had a phase where I've tried to make beats like Frank Ocean does. And now with Khalil coming in and hearing his voice, I'm catering my music to how I think that should sound, to how I think it would carry his voice well. So that's something it's been a challenge for sure, but it's been really, really fun to figure out. So, I mean, that's kind of how that's gone, Brian.
Dude, just kind of throw this out there. You know, I did listen to the tune. I think all of us did. And for those of you who are familiar, I would say that Half Past Gone is like, it's like Miguel meets Frank Ocean beats and like has like a wavy child, and it's good flow. It's nice. So you can definitely see
you
like
can't compare
Griffin.
that
You're
to
like
Frank Ocean.
Well,
Or
what like
Miguel,
the influence?
Yeah, you can
Well,
definitely.
the influence though, and then like you know what I mean? Like that's you can definitely hear it in that. So I just think it's really cool. And you brought up a point that I definitely resonate with, which is like the phases of music and how it just like interchanges through time. Like the phases that you go through, like with your music taste and stuff. Like I know all of us here can definitely relate with that. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that when we were all 16, just got our license and driving around and shit, like we were definitely bopping whatever had the loudest bass and, you know, just some kind of like trap shit and just getting, you know, really into that scene. And then like, you know, now like, you know, I guess you always have those staples of like your music taste. Like mine's definitely like going to be classic rock. And, you know, just kind of like some alternative stuff. But yeah, I just think it's really cool how like your music taste changes over time, but also like you kind of go in phases with like artists that you listen to, and then it kind of all congeals together and creates something unique that you can just enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, that's something I'm curious about for you guys. Like Garrett, I've lived with you for a couple years, and I've been able to hear your change in music taste. But like, what are some of y'all's biggest musical influences? Like,
I guarantee you, nobody has the weirdest just array of music than I do. Oh my god, my favorite person right now, and has been for a minute. I don't even know what style you would call his music because he's currently like changing it. So he's moving from LA to go to Nashville and starting up a recording studio with like Sam Hunt. So he's gonna have some like country influence in his voice now, but it's Mike Stud, but he recently rebranded to just Mike period. So I don't know. This guy, his like sound is changing a lot. He started out as like a frat rapper, some like high beat type stuff, and then now it's almost going on like he's calling it kind of like a new wave, like just kind of a chill kind of sound to it. But now he's gonna have some country influence, so it's kind of interesting. And then
That's
he also
really
hangs out with Post Malone. So like, I don't really know what I would call it.
Huh.
I remember when Mike Stud actually
Posty.
came to Ole Miss. He performed
Mm.
here, I think our freshman year. I think he played across the street from our
Mhm.
house. And I think me and a couple friends went and stood at the gate and watched him from the back. Didn't go into the party. We just watched from over the gate. But yeah, I remember when his sound was that fraternity rapper sound.
Mm.
So that's super interesting. I haven't listened to him honestly probably since then. So that makes me interested to go and listen to some of his new stuff.
Go listen to Rodman. He dropped it like last Friday, maybe. It's
Like
an
this?
interesting like tune.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to listen to that. I definitely listened to him back in high school. Like y'all were saying, that frat rap, like, definitely is what he was on. Um, for me, I've been all over the place. Being from the suburbs of Atlanta, that you get a little bit of everything. That trap, that country. So kind of all over the place. That classic rock from my dad. So I'm gonna have to say the classic rock, one of my favorite bands because of my dad specifically, Boston. Love the Eagles too, like Garrett was talking about. Um, let's see. One of my favorite recently, actually, just I'd say over the past couple of years, not super recently, but Portugal the Man. Y'all know
Oh
him?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Saw
He's
them
got
live
some
twice.
great beats. Nice.
Yeah. Love their
They're
music.
yeah, they're sick. So that kind of, I don't, what even genre do you put that in? Is that just pop?
Indie alternative,
Indie
maybe some
alternative?
pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think their music side's a little bit farther with the indie, especially the
Yeah,
older stuff. But like Feel It
yeah,
Still, they were the underground band that nobody really screwed with. Like nobody wanted, or everyone listened to them, but nobody was like a huge Portugal the Man fan. And then Feel It Still came out, and that whole album, I think that was 2017, summer of 2017. I remember I
yeah,
was working for my grandparents, literally just doing work around their house. And I remember when that album came out, I listened to it every single day.
yeah. That was a
So
good one.
I mean, I love their stuff.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite like kind of music recently. And also in high school, like all the rap, like pretty much that's all I listened to in high school. A little bit of country
Do you have
mixed in
anything
there
else on your
too.
phone other than trap music? That's an
That's
inside
a
joke.
Yeah, inside joke about a friend asking. No, but I probably back then I was listening to Drake mostly. Still love me some Drake, but definitely I listened to older Drake. So far
Mm.
gone, thank me later type stuff.
Take care.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah, Take
lying if you
Care
say
as
you
well.
don't like Drake. I mean, like, how can you not like
Exactly.
Drake? I mean,
Right.
you're just fake if you don't like Drake.
Dude, he's
Always
got a
love Drake.
song for everybody. I mean, like
Exactly.
what Scorpion? He had literally two different styles in one album. Side by
Yes,
side.
love that. And that was one of the things that actually like drew me to him is the variety in his music. Like he wasn't just like a
Mm.
rapper or like a trap rapper or anything like that. He had so much variety. And that's what
He
drew me to
sang,
him.
he rapped, he did everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
For
mean, I
real.
love his singing stuff for sure. I love some of his singing stuff more than some of his rapping stuff. But
Yeah,
I think that he can do both really well.
With
absolutely.
Drake, you can you can go from one song and you're crying about your ex that you don't even know, and then the next song you're getting hyped, like going to a party or whatever. Like that's definitely
For
Drake. The variety,
real.
that's a good point. So Arbor Graham, I know Cameron's a big OVO. You know, as far as like my stance on music, dude, my favorite thing to do is find music that like nobody else knows. I know that sounds so hipster
That
and
is
like
so
Dog.
like just so classic, but
yeah.
like that's one thing that I really enjoy is diving into like some random playlist on Spotify, getting out my shovel, going digging, and just looking for some like gold mine in a cave of these just deep Spotify playlist, and I've been really lucky with it throughout the years. Found a lot of songs and really expanded my musical taste. My staples, though, and y'all will probably know this, but Kings of Leon is my favorite band, no question about it.
All right.
And then I've seen them twice, dude. They're incredible. Cannot wait for them to put out some new stuff. But
Hey, what happened the second time you went?
oh god,
Was your second concert fun? Well, didn't you see them in Tuscaloosa?
I did, yeah, dude. So this will tell you how much of a Kings of Leon fan I am. On a Monday night in Oxford, me and another active had a couple pledges drive us out to Tuscaloosa from Oxford, which is about a 2.5, 3 hour drive. And so we drove from Oxford to Tuscaloosa and saw them and drove back that night. But that was a blast. Bad thing, dude, is like a lot of my favorite bands are pretty much dead, which kind of sucks.
Jeez.
We got to go see
Yikes.
Griffin, Newsom's in the chat, Connor, TK. We went last year and saw, like Griffin was talking about earlier, saw Dead and Company. John Mayer, got to see him perform live in Atlanta. And that was a really good experience. Hence the tapestry in the background you guys like to point out. So
Crowd pleaser.
Nice.
yeah, absolutely. So, again, like I said earlier, music has just really, it's just integral in pulling people together. People can always relate and always fun. And honestly, dude, like the way that it just kind of takes over a mood and can just change your day, dude. Like you can hit a song on a playlist or whatever and just like incite nostalgia, and it can change your mood. And when you change a mood, it can change your day. So I really love that about it. Like if you're, in a workout, if you're in the gym, if you're on a run and like certain song comes on, like boom, your entire workout's changed.
Cherub.
Cherub.
Do what?
Cherub.
Yeah.
Cherub brings back the nostalgia. Dude.
Oh my God.
Take me back to high school, man.
Hell yeah, dude. 100%.
Every high school party, Doses and Mimosas played
Every
about 4
single one.
times.
That had.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna get me some.
If that song didn't play, it was.
That reminds me of Fireball. I don't know why. High school, Fireball, and Cherub.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about the Pitbull song Fireball.
No. I actually had a
Another
guy on.
classic.
So quick aside, we had a demo today so every 2 weeks for my client, their whole company gets on a Zoom call and we meet and like present what we did and all that shit. There's 100 people on this Zoom call and some guy, like, he's a really weird dude. At the first 5 minutes of every call, he plays like a song and like dances around, shit like that. And he played
Oof.
Fireball by Pitbull today.
Oh my
And it was
God.
not the
What
clean
are the
version
odds?
either, dude. So it was like, ooh, not good, man. On a Zoom call to 120 people. So yeah.
Yikes.
But
Ryan-
anyways,
Ryan just said in the chat, throwback to blasting Cherub in my kitchen.
Oh God. Yeah, let's just.
You know what I remember
Uh,
doing in the kitchen? Rapping to Drake. Speaking of Drake, I remember being up on the countertop,
God, dude.
blasting
alright, so do
music.
we want to hit on, I guess if all 5 of us went through and just chose like one favorite type of music. I
Like a
think-
genre.
Yeah, just
Oof,
like a
that's hard.
genre right now, because as we've talked, like, music taste changes. So
Right. Yeah, I mean,
well,
I've
I'll
always
start
got
us
a.
off.
All right.
yeah, Bucky Blake.
So I didn't think you were gonna go for that, Mazur. So yeah, I'll start us off, dude. No doubt in my mind, I'm going classic rock jam specific. Like, dude, there's something about like bluesy, jam infused, just like absolute real music. You think Allman Brothers, you think like Grateful Dead, these guys, Pink Floyd, these guys that just absolutely melt your face. That's no question what I would choose. So I had to choose one to listen to for the rest of my life.
All right, Blake,
Hmm.
since you were so eager.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Garrett. I've always got to fall back on classic rock. I'll go through phases here and there, but really just any of the big classic rock bands. I mean, the Eagles are one of my favorites. I think the first song I ever really liked was "Take It Easy" by the Eagles. I love Led Zeppelin, pretty much all
Mm.
their music. And then just even something more chill. You know, a lot of the Doobie Brothers music or Allman Brothers. Just anything with a lot of
Yes.
guitar in it. I just
Yes.
always
Doobie
fall back on
Brothers.
classic rock.
I think that
Hmm.
I think Led Zeppelin, when I think of classic rock,
Yeah,
that's my go-to. I mean, like I honestly like I'd like to think Jimi Hendrix, but I think that he is honestly before some of the big classic rock, you know.
yeah,
Like he's like the starter for some of the big stuff, but I think Led Zeppelin every time. I think a lot of British rock when I think of classic rock.
for
Queen,
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Led Zeppelin, like and Queen is almost a genre of their own. It's hard to define them as classic rock.
Right.
Sure.
Freddie Mercury's a god in the music world.
So Griffin, one favorite type of music right now, as we've discussed, it's it changes with time. But if you had to pick one, what is it?
Okay. All right. I mean, currently I'm listening to about 6 different types of music, but I, I would say that my favorite right now, because of the music that I've been making, I've been listening to a lot of R&B, and there's this artist named Lucky Day, Daye, on Spotify. He has a song called "Roll Some Mo," and he has another one. God, I can't remember, but it's my favorite one. And like his music is great. I really like what he's doing. Uh, Khalil got me on to this guy named Giveon, Giveon, and he's got some really, really quality stuff. And Cautious Clay. Cautious Clay is one of my favorites. Garrett, have you heard him?
Yes.
Yeah, he's so good. He's got that Frank Ocean vibe, but a little bit of a deeper, raspier voice. And his music is just so ear pleasing. Like he makes you happy, even when his songs are sad. Like his music is quality.
All right.
So
about
that's
you,
that.
Cam?
So that leaves me. Oh
Flamer.
man, I love me some classic rock, like y'all were saying. Um, but I don't know if I could put it just like over hip hop. I mean, hip hop's pretty broad, and in my case, it would have to be like all the way to rap, all the way down to like almost R&B type music. Pretty versatile. But if I was gonna choose one, I think I'd choose that. Like that's what I chose when I was little. My parents are pretty strict about what I listen to, but I remember listening to a lot of Christian rap when I was little.
No way.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
So that's
dude.
your choice. That's your favorite right now.
Christian rap.
Yeah,
Here to
Christian
hear it
rap.
first.
Christian rap is my favorite. No.
Oh yeah.
Lecrae does have some good songs now, but no, just hip hop would be that Drake. I couldn't, if I chose classic rock, I couldn't listen to any Drake. So if I had to choose one, it'd be hip hop.
Christian hip hop.
Tyler Green
Christian
said
hip hop.
Rascal Flatts has some bangers out right now, and
Hey,
damn it,
dude.
could that not be more truthful? Rascal Flatts.
we just went through that entire segment and didn't give any respect to country.
I was gonna bring it
Tyler
up,
Country
Childers.
up.
dude.
Tyler
Look how I'm
Childers
feeling
is
it
the
right now.
only country that I'm listening to right now.
Facts. Facts.
I love,
What?
like,
Billy Currington.
I like Billy Currington too. I was raised on beach country. I'm from the coast. I'm from Mobile.
Right.
Raised on Kenny Chesney.
Buff
raised
it.
on Zach Brown. Raised on all of
Zach
that.
Brown.
But
Mm.
I think Tyler Childers right now, he's the only country that I'm listening to. My little sisters love all this new poppy country.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me,
Nope.
but it's it's whatever. I mean, do what
Dude,
you gotta do.
there's a couple guys in the new country sphere though that are kind of bringing back that old school sound, just with like a contemporary like kind of undertone. Like one guy comes to mind, Morgan Wallen. Really good in the country space right now. Kind of killing it. I didn't know this, but apparently he got kind of called out for like going off in Tuscaloosa, like after a show or something. Like Griffin,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
what
I'm
I was
talking
about
about?
to say. I heard he got into a little bit of trouble for mingling with the co-eds over at Alabama.
Yeah, dude. So basically, what Reddick was giving me the lowdown on this weekend was, oh shit, my computer's about to die. I need to plug that in. So basically, he was saying that, like Morgan Wallen, like had some like show or performance, or no, he went to a football game. He went to an Alabama football game and like went out to the bars after and just got tanked at the bars and was like all over TikTok, like making out with like college chicks, like putting on like private shows in like dorm rooms, all that kind of stuff. And apparently he was supposed to host SNL like the next day or the next weekend, and they pulled the plug.
Damn.
Really?
That
Yeah,
doesn't
dude. How about
surprise
that?
me.
Wow.
I
Not
mean,
at all.
it's
Chasing
so
them
easy to
college,
get in
college
trouble.
girls.
Yep.
It's so easy to get in trouble as like a as an influencer or a musician or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's crazy.
But yeah, Morgan Wallen, Parker McCollum, Luke Combs, like some of these guys, like new age guys that kind of bring a old school sound. So shout
I
out to
do
that.
like
And I'll
Luke
also say
Combs.
this. Yes, absolutely. And I'll say this too. If we were recording this podcast like in the middle of summer, like July 15th, we would all be talking about country music right now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Yeah.
because it's
different
cold
ballgame.
weather, because I'm a big believer in this. We didn't talk about this at all. I'm a big believer in like seasonality correlating very strongly with music taste and like what you listen to. Like in the summer, I know you guys can all relate to this. Like I want to listen to some like good country, roll the windows down, like some upbeat, like alternative, classic rock, all that kind of stuff. And then like you'll notice, or at least I noticed that like going into the winter when it starts to cool down and the days get a little shorter, my music taste definitely shifts a little bit. You all have your thoughts on that?
See, that's
For
the
sure.
best part about Zach Brown is Zach Brown's
Mm.
got music for every season.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's
Yes,
true.
sir.
You get winter time, you put colder weather on, and you get real bummed out.
Highway 20 ride, yes,
Literally.
sir. Start crying.
Yep.
Rascal Flats
anyway.
too. Life is a Highway when that starts playing.
Oh,
I'm
man.
God,
falling.
100%. All right, fellas. Well, that was fun. Something else that's really timely right now that I kind of want to shift gears and hop into. So this week, there's a big product choice that the American people are going to have to decide between. And we're going to nerd out here for the end of the here until the end of the podcast and talk about gaming a little bit. So, the PS5 and the Xbox, I believe, both dropped this week. Am I right? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Um,
there's no question that do what?
No, yeah, I was gonna say, and they'll become available for like Black Friday and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Right. Yeah.
So Xbox drops tomorrow. PlayStation drops on the 12th. And also, Mom and Dad, I know y'all are listening. You can leave now. Like,
Shout out. All right. So basically, like what I was gonna say is, there's no coincidence that they're dropping the PS5 and the Xbox right now. No coincidence at all. They want to maximize the sales on Black Friday. They're gonna absolutely blow up the commercials and there's gonna be ads everywhere. But I guess what's so interesting to me is it's been like, I guess 4 or 5 years since the last gen consoles came out. So like the American people are going to make a huge decision this holiday season on, hey, am I going to go PlayStation? Am I going to go Xbox? From what I've read, the momentum seems to be very heavy on PlayStation. People think that Sony is going to end up, selling more units. They're going to end up making a lot more money this holiday season selling PlayStations. What are y'all's thoughts on this big decision? Where do y'all think? What do you want? What are you looking for? And what do you think is going to be? What do you think the American people are going to decide on?
I have a good taste right here because I've been paying attention to how people are kind of viewing everything. And so right
Sweet.
now, I've noticed that both PlayStation and Xbox have had quite the I don't know, like they've had a lot to live up to from their past generations. PlayStation's had a lot of trouble recently because they've had all these pre-order problems for this new PlayStation, and Xbox seems to be doing a lot better in that aspect. So I don't know. I don't really know the big differences between both of them. I just think I think that they'll both be pretty solid. I mean, everyone's going to get one or the other. So
Maybe not. You know,
true.
gaming computers are more of a option nowadays, and that's what I'm considering. I'm considering not getting another console for a while, and if I ever do get another console, just upgrading it a little bit, and not needing the nicest newest console, and maybe just getting a gaming computer instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does anybody know the specs on the new consoles?
Yeah, so they're both running like the latest in AMD's new like GPU architecture. So they're both pretty equal on like that front. But I know Xbox has like a little bit of an edge in terms of their like the amount of memory they have, like the amount of RAM, and also some faster storage. So it seems like they're both as of like probably like early 2020 specs. They're both like fairly on par with each other. Xbox has like a little bit of an edge there. But as we've talked about a few times, with the recent release of like Nvidia's new stuff and AMD's new stuff, they're they're already kind of behind the most recent hardware that's available for gaming computers that you can build or
Mm-hmm.
buy.
Hmm.
But at that point, that's when you start to think about price, like the investment in something like a gaming computer versus
Hmm.
buying a new console for $500. Because
Right.
if you want a good gaming computer, you got to spend over a grand. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
hard
I'm
to
about to
it's hard to
drop
play.
2 grand on it.
Oh shit! It's hard to play any of these new games on anything less than a $1,200 computer. You know?
Right. Yeah. Like $1,000 is. I mean, you can if you skimp in some areas, you can build a pretty solid gaming computer for like 700 or 800 bucks. But I mean, you're kind of skimping on some parts, and then I mean, part of the fun in building a gaming computer is one like making it look cool. Like it's kind of like a piece of art that you're building. Adding some cool lighting effects, getting the color coordination right, um, which all that's I mean, depending on how you go, you can build some if you want to go real deep into it, you could easily build something that's like 5 to 7 grand and up, depending on like what kind of cooling system and what kind of case you want. Whereas, like you said, I mean, in Xbox and a PlayStation, they might not be able to run games at like the highest graphics settings, 4K, 60 FPS. Probably a little bit of a stretch there, but it's $500. Most families can afford that, especially around the holidays. Um, just for some of the less hardcore gamers, someone who's not willing to put down at least $1,000 into something that they play video games on.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
that's
Um,
me.
sure.
yeah.
That's
Hey,
me. I don't necessarily want to spend any more on gaming. If I got a computer and I built out like a nice computer, I would use it for like a lot more than just gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
at
that is a
that
good
point,
argument. I mean, all gaming quote unquote computers are going to be able to run are going to be able to handle any other workload that you do. Like if you're into producing music, it's gonna you know be able to edit music files like butter. Same thing
oh
with
yeah,
video editing.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me is like I've had a Mac. I've had the Mac that I have right now for 5 years since I was like towards the end of my senior year of high school, and it's worked really well. It's been great. At the time, it was like 2 grand. It was a stupid expensive Mac that I got as a grad present, which was great. But now it runs like a computer from 2004, and I this is the same computer I use for all my music stuff. I only really use it for my music stuff. I don't use it for anything else. over the summer I bought a new computer, which was a Windows, and it was a pretty solid laptop. And I can run games on it and stuff fine. So if I wanted to, I could get into the PC gaming community. But as someone that's had a PlayStation for a long time, I've always been a fan of their stuff. I had a PS2 when I was a kid. That was the first console my dad and I ever. My dad bought it. We played it together. We played all the classics. And so that was something that I was really into and I stuck with. Even when all my friends were getting Xboxes,
Hmm.
I had a PS2, PS3, and now I have a PS4. At one point, I will say, during college, I sold my PS4 that I had originally to buy an Xbox because I was living in the fraternity house and everyone in there had an Xbox. And at the time, it was sophomore year of college. Everybody was playing Fortnite. Fortnite had just become a thing. It was junior year for y'all. So Fortnite had become the biggest thing since sliced bread, and everyone was playing it. As soon as I sold my PlayStation and bought an Xbox, crossplay became a thing. So you could play with PlayStation and Xbox at the same time. And so I was like, shit. What did I mean? Like, I didn't really make any kind of profit off of selling it or buying a new Xbox.
Oh
So
no. You
yeah.
get raked by GameStop whenever you trade in a console. And so
GameStop, I can't even tell y'all how much money GameStop has stolen from me because when I was a kid, anytime I wanted a new game, or I'll say when I was like 16, as soon as I got a driver's license, anytime I wanted a new game, I would just go sell all the games that I had to buy that new game. And then like over time, collect a few more games and then do that same process over and over again until I was just like, oh my God, GameStop is probably taking like $300 from me.
Yeah,
you
you come
know,
in with
I'll
10
be
games and
honest.
get like $10.
Yeah, dude. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I'd be lying if I said otherwise, but I kind of wish I hadn't because like a lot of those games I sold for pennies on the dollar to GameStop, I'd love to like have now and
Yeah.
just for nostalgia's sake, just like
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
back on, oh yeah, I spent hours playing that shit, or like, oh yeah, I never played that again, or like those NFL street games, like all the old like
Oh,
classic games. I
those
don't
are
know, dude.
amazing.
Just like all of those, bro. I'd love to still have those and pull out one day,
Yes.
but nope. GameStop raked me over the coals whenever I wanted to go buy the new Madden or the new Call of Duty or whatever it was at the time.
Exactly.
So going back to like the dichotomy of the main two consoles, we'll talk about a little bit more about PCs if y'all want to get into that, because I do think that the PC gaming revolution is coming maybe this year. I think a lot of people are going to be forced to kind of make that decision. I do think that there is such a versatility to building a PC because you can build it how you want it. You can add the specs you want. Obviously, it's more powerful, all that kind of stuff, and you can use it for other purposes besides gaming, 100%. But let's just talk a little bit more about these two consoles pitted against each other. And from what I've been reading and kind of hearing the momentum and stuff, it seems like a lot of people are going to be doing a lot of switching. Like I'm a loyal Xbox guy. I've been a loyal Xbox guy since the 360. I went from PS2 to 360 and then to Xbox One. So I'm a loyal Xbox guy. I'm not going to be buying the new Xbox this Christmas season. Kind of with Cameron on that. Like I'm not buying a new gaming console. Maybe down the road, we'll see. I'll let y'all buy the new console, and then as it's getting all the shit figured out, I'll let y'all kind of figure out the kinks, and then I'll come in and buy it for cheaper later.
The big thing is that I've seen so far, I've been going around YouTube and Google to see because I've especially since the Xbox comes out tomorrow, there's already been a lot of reviews and stuff posted about it. And first of all, I just want to say my girlfriend has now joined the chat. Hi, Liz.
Lizard.
And now the thing is, like what I've seen, they're both incredible compared to what we have right now. The Xbox has done so much. So they have these SSD solid state drives in the consoles right now. And that means loading times for games are shortened incredibly. So what would you especially in games like Madden, how long it takes to get into a freaking game or whatever. It's
Miserable.
ridiculous. That will take like 75% less time now compared to before. What would usually, like, especially if I'm playing Ultimate Team on Madden 2021, what would usually take like a minute, minute and a half to load into a freaking Ultimate Team challenge or whatever, now will take 15 seconds, if
That's
not
huge.
less.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's what those solid state drives do. And from what I saw from Xbox, the new Xbox is almost the exact same to the Xbox One in every way, besides being able to run games at 60 FPS, some games at 60 FPS, 4K, and having those short loading screens because of the SSD. And it's the same for the PS4 in that aspect too, I guess, from what I've seen. So I think that, and a lot of people, especially people that haven't really seen how PC games work, 60 FPS versus 30 FPS is the biggest difference in the entire world. I mean, it's
Yeah.
incredible what playing a game on 60 30 is like.
So I'm looking at just a side by side, like the new Xbox versus the PS5. First off, they should have came up with a better, catchier name for the new Xbox, by the way. Series X, like that's so like it doesn't roll off the tongue. Anyway, besides
Yeah.
the point.
And it's
I'm looking at, like-
also X
Good.
is it's the Xbox Series X. Like that's just so stupid.
Should have been the
honestly.
Dumb as hell.
720.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
100%.
I did a project. I remember in like fifth grade. I must have been like 10. I did a project called the Xbox 720. And I like just made up all this BS about the graphics and stuff.
I love that. Dude, so I'm looking at side by side these two things, and no joke, the PS5 looks like the next wave of like computer modems.
Yeah.
And then, or no, I'm sorry, of Wi-Fi mode, like a Wi-Fi router, and then the freaking new Xbox looks like a computer modem. Like they're so goofy looking, dude.
So the
But this
things that
PS5 is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
it is ginormous. Like
It's big.
that's
it's
the
so
biggest
much
problem
bigger
I've
than-
heard.
yeah.
No normal person has like the space where they like their TV set up in like their living room or whatever, their living area. You don't have from what I can tell and from what I've heard from the reviews, like even if you put it on its side, even if you stand it up straight, there's no like perfect spot to put the damn thing because it's so freaking big. And the
Mhm.
Xbox is just a big freaking rectangle.
Mhm.
So you
Yeah.
can't like it's all crazy like that.
But the new Xbox it's so much smaller than the PlayStation.
Yo,
Like,
yeah,
have y'all
that-
seen
that's like the
the
big
size
thing.
comparisons?
Yes. It's
Like, it's-
noticeable.
It's
I
very
had
send
it.
a
very.
picture.
Throw it up on the can you put it up? Can you overlay it, Blake?
Oh yeah, actually I have a perfect thing right now. So what I'm putting up
Yeah.
right now is fuck. So shit. It's like comparing the size. I've got all these freaking pop-up ads. It's comparing the size. So it's a little bit taller than the Xbox One X, standing on its side, and probably about double the width. But then the PlayStation 5 next to it, I guess this is like the PS5 and then the PS5 like all digital or whatever, is probably about it's like 25% taller than the Series X,
Mhm.
and almost just as wide. Like it's just
Wow.
yeah. So like when you just look at the rectangular shape of the new Xbox, like it seems like it would be big, but like if you watch some videos of the actual size of it, um, it's pretty surprising how actually small it is, like how small of a footprint it takes up.
Does
Yeah.
the
Interesting.
Xbox have to be standing up like that, or can you lay it down?
It can be both.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
All
you
right.
can put it both ways.
That's the funny thing I think about the Xbox is the designs that they've done so far are the thin rectangles, and now it's just a big square.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's
like
fun-
the funniest thing I've seen, they
It's a
just released
box.
Xbox just put out like a tweet or something like last week or a couple weeks ago, introducing the Xbox refrigerator that looks the exact same as the new Xbox.
Oh,
Jesus.
Xbox
Everyone was joking that it looked exactly like a fridge
Yeah.
because of how it was
that's
shaped.
so funny.
Well, so thinking back to like the 360, you know how it had that like hyperbolic shape,
Mhm.
where it was
Yeah.
like real thin in the middle and stretched out to the sides. Well, the PS5 is now kind of like that, where it's like flared at the edges.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then so
True.
like going back to when the 360 was out, the PS2 was just like a little rectangular box, a real small thing. So they've kind of like done a complete like 180 on each other on their designs. It's kind of funny.
I think that's the craziest thing too, in that I think the PlayStation, every time they have a new console between the 2, the 3, and the 4, have had, I think, 3 different iterations of each one throughout each one's lifespan.
Right.
So the PS2 had the fat ass PS2 that was a huge, big ass rectangle. And then they had the Slim, which was the really small one.
Yeah.
And then they had the PS3. The original came out and it was huge. Then they made the Slim and then like the
Mm.
Slim Pro or whatever. And then the PS4 came out and it was the original fat ass one. Then they had the small one. Then they had the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
And then they
Thick.
had like another type. I think another like PS4 Pro Slim or some shit like that. So I'm interested to see what they do with that because Xbox kind of the same thing with the 360 and then the 360 Elite.
Right.
And those were the difference between those is like, yeah, this one has more like hard drive space or whatever than this one. And then they came out with the second 360, which
Yeah.
didn't get the red ring of death.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then they had like a third one that like no one talks about because it came out at the exact same time as the Xbox One.
Right.
And then they had
Right.
the one, then they had the One S, and then they had the One X, which was like the best one that they
Mhm.
released like 4 or 5 years later down the line. So I know that PlayStation and Xbox are going to do the same thing with these consoles. So
For
I'm
sure.
like Garrett was saying, this is not something that I'm going to buy right out of the gate. I don't really have any reason to. I mean, like
Mm.
most of the games they're releasing on both platforms are going to be able to play on the regular Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right. So that makes me wonder if people are going to be loyal to their console that they've used in the past based on that like sunk cost idea of, hey, I've spent all this money on these Xbox games that like I could play on the new console if I decide to get it. I don't think I want to switch over to the PlayStation or vice versa. I don't know if the PS5 is going to be as backwards compatible as Xbox. I know that's one thing Xbox has done really well is bringing back a lot of those old games from the past platform, being able to use them on the new platform. So I don't know exactly how it's going to work. It's going to be interesting to see just how the numbers come back. But at the end of the day, I do think people are going to make a decision on these two. But I do think the real winner here is probably going to end up being PC gaming. Just going forward, just based on like the way that gaming is going, the people who play are just so much more. Maybe intense is not the right word, but it seems that way. People who game now, like streaming, there's so many streamers out there. It's such a competitive space, just with the way that everyone's so intermingled in the gaming sphere these days. So I don't know. What are y'all's kind of final thoughts on that?
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, listen to me, Brian, and Cameron, and Griffin. We're all talking about, and we're all like relative. We're not like super hardcore gamers, but all of us are talking. Like I already game on a PC. Brian Cameron and or yeah, Brian Cameron and Griffin are talking about building their own PC for gaming, and with Fortnite being super popular a few years ago, the whole like streaming aspect of YouTube, all those streamers play at like the highest frame rate you can play on PCs because they do give you the best performance in games. That seems to be where the culture is shifting. I mean, personally, when the Series X was first announced, I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting that. Like that's gonna be awesome. But now, I'm probably not even gonna get it because I can play any game I want on my computer at, you know, better resolutions and better FPS than that Xbox that's coming out.
And
So
Blake, if you don't mind me adding on to that, especially for Xbox, Xbox has now implemented Game Pass, which does backwards compatibility for all the old games and introduces new games and puts them all on PC.
Right.
So if
Yeah.
you have a PC, you can play any Xbox
Wow.
exclusive game because obviously Xbox is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft owns Windows.
Yeah.
So they have this platform now
Wow.
to where if you have a PC, you can play Xbox. The
Right.
only games you cannot play on PC are PlayStation games.
Yeah.
So PlayStation, it's basically at this point it's PC versus PlayStation instead of
Pretty
Xbox
much.
PlayStation. And
Wait, so real quick with that Game Pass, so I'm currently building out my PC, but I have the Xbox One.
mhm.
Can I get Game Pass and I'll have Call of Duty when it drops this week, and then I can go and I'll still have it when the PC is
It
done?
depends on if Game Pass has Call of Duty on it, which
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I
Which
don't think it
no,
will.
Oh,
no.
It
But
probably
Yeah.
Game
won't.
Pass right now, from what I've seen on my computer, is that Game Pass only has like a handful of games that Xbox has released. It has like Gears of War 5. It has like Halo and a few other stuff. But
Yeah.
it's stuff that has been made PC compatible. So it's something that I guess is going to happen over time, and I think eventually within the next year or two, Xbox is going to put like the majority of their games on both PC and Xbox. But like the big thing is PlayStation is really known for its exclusive content. That's the reason I think genuinely, I mean, like this is biased because I'm a PlayStation guy. I think PlayStation won the last console generation solely on the exclusive games that they had that you couldn't get anywhere else, you know? Like they had
Yeah.
Spider-Man, which is one of the highest rated games of all time. They had God of War. They've always had God of War that you could never play on Xbox. Uh, they've got all these games that they have usually at launch. This year, they don't really have a lot of launch titles that are solely exclusive, uh, that are crazy big. But that's something that's been really interesting to see over the last few console generations. And it's really crazy how they do that because the fact that they can even do exclusive stuff means that their marketing is so good that they're able to pull in this audience that no one else has got, you know?
Yeah.
So, and honestly, a question that I want to ask you all, and this is a little bit off, but still kind of on topic, is what are some of the games that defined you, you know, as you were growing up?
Mhm.
What are some of the
I like this.
games?
Halo.
And I can tell that's Garrett's too, probably.
Well,
Yep.
you've heard my ringtone. It's the Halo theme song. I mean, dude. Yep.
Halo and COD.
So
Call of Duty came first for me. I remember
Mm,
Call of Duty
really?
2. My uncle got that for me. We had just gotten the Xbox 360. Like, I mean, what year was this? 2005 when that
Mhm.
came out. We had just
That's-
gotten that, and then for Christmas he got us Call of Duty 2. And I remember playing that in Best Buy. There was this one specific mission, the beginning of the end was what it was called. I played that over and over, and then finally got the game. And so Call of Duty has always been it for me. And then Halo came in a little bit after that. But those two titles are huge.
cough drop.
Cough
Drop
52.
52. I
Yes,
still
sir.
have it.
Yes,
My brother
sir.
set that name up back in, I guess, 06, like whenever Xbox Live came to the 360, and had it ever since.
Dude, okay. So Halo 3 is when I dove into the true gaming atmosphere. Like I'd always had like a console, like PS2 I grew up with, had a bunch of, storyline games that when you beat the story, like it's a boring game. You know what I mean? Like, and I'd always had like the new NCAA and I'd, run that game to the ground till it was no longer fun or buy the next one, whatever. But what changed everything was when I got Xbox Live, and that was Halo 3. Okay. So when I got Xbox Live and I found out, hey, I'm not hanging out with my buddies right now, but I can hop on this mic and I can plug my computer into the wall, into the internet, and I can play with them online. Oh, buddy. About a year of my life was lost in
Garrett,
Xbox Live parties.
Garrett, I want you to talk about I want you to talk about the girlfriend you got on Xbox.
Oh
Hey,
my
hey.
god.
No.
All right.
Dude.
I won't name drop her here because I know you guys know what I'm talking about. All right. So yeah, that happened. Cameron knows
Dude.
about this too.
I might know.
You do
I'm
know.
not positive who it is.
Starts
You
with
Though.
an
definitely
S.
know.
Okay, I know.
No. Wait.
Oh wait.
No.
Well, what was
Is
All
it
right.
like
Hold on.
first name
I'll chat
S,
it. I'll
last
chat it.
name
I'll chat it real
C?
quick.
Wait, not the
It's gonna pop up on my screen, Garrett.
Oh,
Okay. Oh shit!
Oh no!
You idiot. That's
Oh.
hilarious.
Oh
the whole
no!
chat knows.
All right. I'll tell the story.
Wow.
I'll tell the story. So
Blake's
yeah,
got a
dude, it
good
was like
story.
summer of like.
Fuck off, Cameron.
Hold on, let me
Wait,
tell this
keep
real
going,
quick.
Garrett.
Cameron,
Keep
you'll
going.
remember some of these details. So it was like summer of like 6th or 7th grade, dude. And you gotta, this is the biggest part of the story. I didn't have a cell phone, okay? I did not have a cell phone. So like, yeah, like at this summer, that was my one way of communicating with my buddies was hop on Xbox Live and go for it. Well, this girl, her brother had a Xbox Live account. She went to school with us, and so like she was like hanging around at Xbox Live parties with us. So we always talked and stuff. So that summer, I had a girlfriend talking on Xbox. I had
Beast.
I had a Xbox girlfriend, but I at least knew her in
Hero.
person.
That's
So
probably why she broke up with me.
oh
No
Damn.
way! There's more to this story than I was.
There's
Damn.
way more. Brewster.
No, I
What do you
remember
say?
playing
Wait,
Xbox with her. She
inform
was
me.
my girlfriend, and then we started playing Xbox together. And I didn't know you dated her.
damn. I mean, I think maybe. Yeah. No, definitely, 100%.
She was
What
the
an
party
expose.
and
That's
private chat at
funny.
the
That's
same time.
hilarious.
G Dog 424 stole Cough Drop 52's girlfriend.
Oh,
You heard it here
wow.
first.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And I remember she had this friend that I thought was cute from her voice who played with her on Xbox.
Oh
Oh,
no.
I know
And but
exactly. Her
in
name
real
started
life,
with an S. Her name
yes,
started with an
that's
S.
who I thought you were talking about.
Yes. No,
And
no. Oh, that's
and
so
not the
funny, dude.
cutest in real life.
That is so funny. I'm so glad, Griffin, you brought that up. I was thinking it. I didn't know if I was going to bring it up or not. Hey, Blake, what's your
hilarious.
story?
My story?
No, we'll move on from that.
We on COD 4.
No, that was World at War. I played on the Wii. Get your facts straight, Brian.
Oh,
Damn.
the Wii.
No, I mean, kind of like you, Garrett. I grew up with like so I think my first gaming console was like the PS I almost said PS5. The PlayStation 2. I played like I vividly remember playing Medal of Honor and Battlefront with my brother and my
Ooh.
neighbors. Just like in the four people on a screen, just like all playing against each other.
Oh yes,
Yep.
Battlefront, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
God, those are like honestly, that's when I peaked.
Battlefront 2 is probably one of my Battlefront 2 on PS2 is one of my favorite games of all
Yes.
time. I
Oh
think.
my God. Just like getting in those big battles, like playing as a stormtrooper and just like fighting the rebels. Oh my God. Good
Or
times.
playing as a droid, and dude, I would always play as the rolling droid. And
Oh,
just
dude, those things were
absolutely
Droideka.
undefeatable.
The
You just
droideka,
pop up that
yeah.
shield and just shoot everything
So Sean Diaz, he said bona fide drama over Gary.
down. Oh, no.
Press F for
Dude, I'm
respect.
pissed. I'm pissed, dude. I'm so upset about this.
Sorry, dog.
But yeah, my parents didn't let me. They didn't let me get an Xbox until like right around high school. So I missed the whole like wave of Halo, back when like Brian and Garrett, you guys were playing Halo. And then like right at the beginning of high school, I finally like got my Xbox 360. I remember my brother and I had to share it playing Black Ops, and we would always get in fights over that. And then like that led us into like MW3 and all the other Call of Duties. So like, I mean, my big like gaming, the big game that I played growing up was like was always Call of Duty. I spent months and months on probably MW3 alone. I think I have like 40 days on that game.
Yep. Modern Warfare 2, baby.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
yes,
was
sir.
32 nukes and counting, boys.
Jeez.
You got to get
After
those numbers up,
2,
boy.
I never played. I really
Honestly.
didn't play 3. I played 2 and Black Ops. Black Ops 1. You know, like for Call of Duty, I wasn't ever really that good. I love the games. I loved Modern Warfare 2. I felt at the time when I was 13 that I was amazing at Modern Warfare 2. I wasn't. I was going like 16 and 19 or whatever. But Black Ops Zombies, I remember to this
Yep.
some of the most fun I've ever had on a video game. We're sitting with like 2 or 3 friends playing split screen Black Ops Zombies. My buddy Tyra Coney and Samuel Plash, who both go to Ole Miss, who are both football players too, actually.
Mhm.
Slight flex. They both. I would go over to my buddy Ty's house, me and Samuel both, and we would throw on Zombies and play that for like 6 or 7 hours in a night. Like those were the first gaming memories I have that I would like actually stay up late, like late playing games. And now I only play games late, you know. Like I don't play games before 9 p.m.
I saw the
Hey,
sunrise a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Back when Ghost came out,
100%.
Brian.
Oh,
Remember
7:30 a.m.
My God.
Jeez.
Garrett,
Dude,
have we talked about your zombies story at my house on
No,
the
you-
podcast
Yeah,
yet?
good lord.
No,
Black
you
Ops
need to
2?
tell that real quick.
You take it away. You're the one who had
Alright.
the epic moment.
All right, so speaking of Black Ops Zombies, we had such a Black Ops 2 Zombies phase that Chris Reddick, Ben Wynette, Garrett Potts, and I pretty much every night after school of the week we would hop on at the same time. We were the zombie squad, and we all had nicknames, and we would play zombies like all night long. And it was a Twitter thing. You can go check the Twitter; it's there. But anyway, so this was such a
Jesus.
thing for a while. One night we were over, Manzer had some people over, and we're hanging out in the house, and the party's kind of dying down. And like, I went upstairs, you know, to take a piss, or whatever, and just saw his setup and saw he had like Black Ops 2 there, and I was like, okay. So I pulled it out, and I'm just like, screw it, party's over. I'm just gonna chill here for like half an hour before I go to sleep. And sure enough, 6 hours later, I am at my personal best solo Origins, round like 45 or whatever it is. It's still on your leaderboard, Manzer. Just like went off, like absolute on God. And anyway, like 6 hours later, it was like 6 a.m. I literally just was like, yeah, I'm too tired for this. I paused it next morning, like just quit.
Garrett, don't be
whatever.
mad. I was the one that unpaused it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Brian. Yep.
Drama.
Jeez, Brian.
So honestly,
Get
dude,
wrecked.
thank God you did put me out of my Missouri.
You're
You must
Missouri?
be in St. Louis, Gary.
got a new beer.
Lua.
Oh, you got the Lua.
Luau.
Crunkles.
Yeah.
Alrighty, should we move on to our fire round? Garrett, you'll understand that reference.
Nah, like it.
Uh,
Man, dude, I'm so glad, Griffin, you brought that up, because that was like the most fun. Just talking about like nostalgia is just so refreshing, and just talking about like all these old games, bringing back all these memories, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that was fun.
That's something I like to talk about the most, is just like, I think especially people our age have video games that influence who they are, and influence, especially like situations in a video game can influence who you are, you know, like
Yeah.
just as much as music can, like in a creative aspect.
Sure.
I think video games have just as much influence, you know.
The alternative
agree.
reality where you get to, disconnect.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. I like it. Well, we
Still
didn't really talk
pissed, though.
about like new games. Yeah, sorry, Cameron.
Pissed.
Didn't mean to upset
Stole
you,
my
bro.
girlfriend, dog. I can't believe it. On Xbox.
I know, dog. I know. of all
Garrett was
platforms,
scheming in
dude.
that private chat. Cameron was in the party.
Oh.
Like, ooh.
Oh no.
Dude,
didn't
this is
even
exactly what Garrett
know.
did. He probably walked up to did a little hair flip before putting on the Xbox
Oh my
chat
God.
mic. I'm about
And
to
that-
steal Cameron's girlfriend right from under him
The hair flip was mine too.
with his
Oh,
Creek,
yeah.
his
that from me.
Creekview Grizzlies jersey on.
Garrett stole everything
Don't
from
you ever
me.
forget it. Never took that thing off.
Pictures hanging in Garrett's room
And-
right now are the douchiest Garrett's of all time. That I had no idea that he had that kind of flow until I walked into his bedroom and saw his high school football pictures.
Oh yeah.
Even the Facebook pictures from like 8th grade, like, oh god.
Everybody go back and look at him.
Everyone
need
go to
to.
Garrett's Facebook right now.
No, stay here.
I was a douche, and some would argue nothing's probably changed. That's okay. So,
True.
you know, we were gonna kind of talk about some new games coming out, but honestly, like we're all kind of disengaged as far as like, you know, all that stuff. So I guess we'll just go ahead and start wrapping up. Griffin, we'll have a few questions, you know, just kind of once we get you out of here. Are y'all cool with moving on?
Yeah.
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 Sounds good to me.
All right, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So, you know, I guess we're going to start doing this with all of our co-hosts. It's just, you know, asking a couple questions just to get you out the door. So going off of our music themed open to the podcast, give me your 3 top songs. I could probably guess a couple of them, but give me your top 3.
So as I was saying earlier, that the Chili Peppers have moved out of my top 3 artists, but still to this day, I think that Can't Stop by the Red Hot Chili Peppers is my number 1. And like, not even the popularity of it, just the hype of that song gets me going every single time. As soon as it's played, I'm like, okay, tonight's going to be an amazing night. But after that, I think that favorite songs. I was expecting artists, but favorite songs is a little bit more difficult.
You can go with the artist.
I could, but I do think I have some favorite songs. I think that Cold 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 by Cage the Elephant is one of my favorite songs as well. And my third song would have to be Solo by Frank Ocean.
Yep.
Good one.
Right on.
Those are my 3.
Right on. And look at you. You did not even pick a John Mayer song.
See, that's right up next. As I was thinking of Cage the Elephant, I was thinking John Mayer at the same time. But I had to kind of back away because I have, like, most of my favorite John Mayer songs, I think, are all kind of tied.
Right. That's fair. Awesome. B, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, sorry, I had to find that unmute button. So we've got favorite recent book and or podcast. We throw podcast in there because, you know, today's age, some people don't read books.
So I haven't been reading a lot of books. And by haven't been reading a lot, I mean I haven't been reading any. But I have been listening to some audio books recently. And
That counts.
one book that I've listened to twice now that I recently restarted and finished while I was on my 3-day kick of running was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline.
Oh shit.
As a video game guy, that's a huge book. I don't know if any of y'all have listened to it, but
No.
they made a movie about it.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
The movie is
awesome.
amazing.
Movie was quality. Movie was nowhere near as good as the book.
Huh.
Wow.
My God, one of my favorite books of all time. I think I listened to it for the first time. I want to say it came out maybe 2014, 2015, if not earlier. I think I listened to it the summer before freshman year for the first time, and listened to it again this past summer. Still holds up, and they're actually releasing a sequel to it. If they haven't released it already within this month, I think it comes out in November. So fucking good. It is incredible.
Dude, I'm copping that book.
Highly recommend it. I've also been listening to the Gray Man novels, which is a series that's about to be coming out by the Russo brothers. It's a Netflix original series that's coming out. It won't be a TV series. It'll be a movie series. And Chris Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling is going to be playing the main character in it. Chris
That's
Evans
awesome.
is going to be playing the bad guy from the first book. And my dad and I have been listening to all of them. My dad's actually farther than I am. I want to say he's finished with the book series. I
Shout
think I'm
out
on
Trey.
Shout out to Trey. I think that I'm on probably book 6 or 7, if not 4 or 5. They're so good. I mean, it's like very James Bondy, but American James Bondy. This like spy agent who the CIA's searching for, who the FBI, who everyone in the world is searching for, and he's going through all this stuff trying to avoid everybody and carry out whatever mission he's on. It's crazy. It's incredible. But yeah, that's another really, really good series. And the first 4 books of that I've finished have been so fucking good.
Mm.
If you like military thrillers, check out the Brad Thor series.
Brad
Fucking
Thor. All right,
awesome.
I got to look into that. I've probably got a few Audible credits left over because I've still got that subscription running, and I haven't got a new book recently. So
At the end of the day, Griffin's favorite book that he's reading right now is Tax 2.
Oh.
no, fuck that book.
Shit.
If I have to look at another Tax 2, I was actually studying Tax 2 today for 8 hours. That's what I did all day at the library. But shout out to Dr. Shaw. You beast. Thank you.
Oh man, that's awesome.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Those are my books.
All right, man. What have you done recently that was just the best? I know, we got a note here that says fuck COVID. We can all relate on that. But like, favorite recent activity, something you've done, like there's been a party you talked about the other night about there was a party that you were hungover for a while. Like, what's something you've done recently that you've enjoyed?
Honestly, the thing that I've most enjoyed the most has been the 2 nights I spent with Khalil working on my song. Because I don't really get to work with other artists very often. It's really refreshing to get to have, especially someone that can sing, have somebody like that coming into my room, sitting and listening to my music and writing music and being able to mesh so well together. Khalil did that so well, and it was really, really fun for me. But other than that, I've had a few nights in the last few weeks that I've been able to go out, and like I'm at the age now, and I'm sure y'all can relate. Going out's just not like what it used to be. Going out to the bars is not the kind of fun that it used to be. Spending money, like that's money that I could spend elsewhere in a more, I don't know, more enjoyable fashion. But I actually the last couple times Garrett was in town, me and my girlfriend Liz have come over to him and his girlfriend, or his girlfriend's house, Ellie, and we have had a really, really nice night of playing cards, and they cooked us dinner, and that was really, really nice because we don't get that very often. Honestly, we don't get that at all. So, and y'all also both chipped in and got me a birthday gift for my birthday, which was last month, which was so generous. You didn't have to do that, but you did anyways. And it's still sitting at Ellie's house, and I haven't picked it up yet.
Classic.
We were planning on going there, and then we both ended up going back to Mobile for a week. But we had a lot of fun playing cards and just relaxing, which is something we don't usually get to do. So it was really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I've learned as you get post grad life, you start enjoying like simpler stuff a little more.
Exactly.
It makes you sound old, but I mean, guess we kind of are getting old, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was awesome having you on, and then also, I know our listeners got a sneak peek of what's to come later this week. But I guess closing this out, where can they find your music and when it drops?
So, Thursday, 11 p.m. Central Time, midnight Eastern, you'll be able to find my new song under G Brew as the artist on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, SoundCloud, wherever you get your music. The song is called Half Past Gone, and it is featuring my buddy Khalil, known as Centrell. And I'm very excited for it. So, yeah, you can find it wherever you want to. Just search Half Past Gone featuring Centrell or G Brew, and you should be able to find it.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having me on, boys.
Yeah, glad to have you.
absolutely.
This is awesome.
Enjoyable.
You guys are gonna really enjoy the song. The thing I'm looking forward to most is what's gonna come after this first song. Because hearing it, I can tell that this is not just a one-time thing. This is gonna be the beginning of a nice run. So, Griffin, dude, really appreciate you coming on tonight, sharing the time with us. This was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. Had a lot of really cool perspective about music. We talked gaming, and one thing I always love is talking nostalgia. Love going down memory lane. So enjoyed that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
You're a Renaissance man. We appreciate you coming on and had a lot of fun with you. Are y'all's hearts and minds clear?
I'm
Yeah, for
smiling and
sure.
satisfied.
Yeah,
Smiling
thanks for
and
coming on,
satisfied.
Griffin.
Yeah,
We're
thanks.
excited for you. The start of something, that's the first big single coming out. The start of something's always very exciting. We got started a couple months ago with this whole thing, and now we're on number 16. So we're excited to hear your 16th single as much as we are this first.
Well, thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it. And I will admit that I haven't listened to everything that y'all have done, but I have listened to about 5 or 6 episodes. And from what I can tell, it's just so much damn fun for everything going on with BFT.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell that y'all are having a good time with it. So that's all that matters,
That's what it's about.
having a good time and hanging out with the boys,
Yeah.
Heard, boys.
Just here to
All
have
right,
fun.
guys. Yep. All right. That's it. So this is Bonafide Talk. We got Cameron, we got Blake, we got Brian, and our guest host, the Renaissance man, Griffin Brewster. Thank you all for tuning in. Go check out Half Past Gone and stay tuned for episode 17. Who knows what will come next? See you guys. Y'all stay cool.